Welcome back, Mississippi Quilters. It's our third month's installment, March, and so I just want to welcome you back. And I'm seeing a lot of the good stuff that you guys are doing online. I saw a lot of you at the spring gathering, and some of you are doing the blocks, and I'm so excited to see that. And I have new members who are getting ready to start it, so I'm really happy to see that y'all are really getting on board with our America's 250-year anniversary sew-along. As you can see, I got my new t-shirt on. I just thought it would be really appropriate if we did this during the sew-along, so I wore it. So we've got 4 blocks this month, and the first one is Balkan Puzzle. And I know that's kind of a weird name, but I picked it because I wanted it because it looks like it represents a spinning wheel. Now, the Balkan Puzzle block itself came out of the Ladies Art Catalog Company in 1890. And I wanted to use it to signify a spinning wheel, an essential part of everyday life in early America. Over 50% of the American houses in early America had a spinning wheel by 1674. Spun wool and spun flax were the two things that they would use the wheels for, and they made that into thread that they later wove into clothing. The spinning wheel itself represented a crucial symbol. It was a crucial symbol of American independence and patriotic anti-British sentiment leading up to the American Revolution. So it was very significant that they had the spinning wheels in their homes, and it meant so much to them. Now, there are 2 different kinds of spinning wheels in early America. One was the walking wheel, and the other was a small foot pedal wheel. The walking wheel was used for wool, and it required the person that was operating the wheel to walk back and forth until they could get it all done. So they would spin the wool by walking back and forth. I'm not real sure of that concept, but I'm imagining young children were used for this a lot. And the small foot wheel was used for flax that they turned into linen. One thing that I thought was kind of neat was the ladies in early America would actually get together for spinning bees. Just like our quilting bees, they had spinning bees early on. And it was a staple in all of the homes in early America until the Industrial Revolution. And the Industrial Revolution started in 1760 to 1840. So they were around for a very long time. I actually used a spinning wheel one time when I was in Germany, and it is a lot harder to do than you think. And my yarn looked horrible. So the fact that they actually produced beautiful fabric out of it is amazing to me. Our second block is 8 Hands Around, and it is a pioneer era scrappy patchwork block, supposed to be. And it was based upon a children's book, 8 Hands Around, a Patchwork Alphabet by Anne Whitford Paul. It really came into prominence in 1991 when the book really became popular as a children's book to be read. And the block itself came from in early life, they would name quilts based upon everyday activities, occupations, or community experiences. So a lot of the quilt blocks that you hear about are things that they actually were doing in early America. And there are several in the collection that you're going to hear about down the road, so be ready. The third one is our Martha Washington block, and it is an 18th and 19th century pattern named after the First Lady who liked to make medallion quilts. As you can see, there's a center medallion in this one. It's a pinwheel, and that was like her trademark. Martha was, she wore silk once George was elected as president of America. And she would cut the gowns up afterwards when they were no longer used or were no longer viable to be worn. She would cut them up, and she would either make them into quilts of her own, or she would hand the scraps out to ladies that she knew. And she had quite the following of ladies who were very eager to get pieces of her silk. You could probably say she was the first early textile influencer, which I think is kind of cool. Our last block is the wishing ring. Now, this is pretty much an easy wedding ring type quilt. And the reason I chose it is because it is a wishing ring, and it was, the block itself came into huge popularity in the late 19th century and between the 1920s and 30s. Symbolizes love, marriage, and endurance. I use it as a way to show the wishes of those who chose to come to America. Wishing, filled with hopes and dreams, knowing that endurance for the long game would bring them happiness and joy. The work would be difficult, but the rewards were attainable for all. That is pretty much the reason that America is what it is today. So those are our 4 blocks. Now I want you to talk about each one of the blocks because some of them are a little bit easier than others. Some of them are quite hard. This one is fairly easy. It's just half square triangles. But the key to it is you got to lay it out. If you lay it out the way that it's sewn together like this, it goes together super easy. Even the small block does as well. 8 hands around. This is a little bit different because in the center is an 8-pointed star. So the directions that I gave you are specifically, you do this first and then you do the outside around it. Now this one here, it just about broke me. I'm not gonna lie, because these little corner squares here, they end up being 3/4 of an inch. I don't know why I decided to do it, but I did, and it actually worked. So the instructions that you're going to get for the 6-inch blocks, you really need to pay attention to, because when I gave you instructions for these little flying geese right here, I literally trial and errored it down to where I knew exactly the right size. So I started with one size, I had to take it down a little bit, and I took it down a 3rd time. So the instructions that you're going to get are spot on. This one here, this is Martha Washington's star. This is fairly easy, a new technique for us. This is the half square triangle with a triangle. So you'll see how to do that in the instructions, which that doesn't make it difficult. It's just a little bit different. This one is super straightforward, super easy. I think I've done this one in 45 minutes. So as you can see, there's no 6-inch for this one and there's no 6-inch for this one. I've been sick, so I'm a little bit behind the power curve, and my brain just said, I can't do this one right now. This one will be easy, and I will put instructions for both of the 6-inch on the website, so you'll have that available to you. That's all we've got for this month. As you can see, we are getting quite an array of different blocks, so it's looking kind of neat, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you all do. One of the things I want to talk about, though, is we have several social media sites that I want to encourage you all to kind of look for. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. The Instagram part we're a little light on, but we're getting there. And we have a Mississippi Quilt Association Pinterest page. Now, some of the techniques that I talk about in here, I've posted on the Mississippi Quilt Pinterest page. So if you have any kind of problems, you can go there and find the flying geese 4 at a time, alternate ways to do a half square triangle, and how to kind of do some of these small things. But it's all out there. And the other thing we have is our YouTube channel. Now we're working right now to get a lot of the local guilds, because I know everybody does videos. We're asking for you to send those in or let us know where they're at, because we plan on posting those out for y'all on our websites. So we just want to get our social media presence a little bit more robust. So that's all I've got for March. April's coming. I've got a timeline for that that's a little harder to meet, but I'm going to. And as I say every time, happy sewing. And if you run into any problems, let us all know. You guys have a great evening. Bye-bye.